Hello and welcome to next part of SAP RAP Unmanaged Scenario Series. And in today's session, we will continue with where we have left uh, our development. We will continue the create operation and we will try to implement the local class methods to fill in the transactional buffer, and that we will do during our hands-on. Okay, so let me now quickly go to our Eclipse and let us continue with where we have left. So what we have done so far is we have just gone and created our class method, okay, which is just a buffer. Now here the idea is that I will be actually calling, okay, this one should be our first one, then contact will, here we will be calling our auxiliary class, and this auxiliary class will have a method. That method will go and fill in the local the transactional buffer. Okay, in order to do that, what we will be going to do is we will create something called uh, first of all, in our main auxiliary class, where is our auxiliary class, global class, we already have a create. So from here we will be going and calling our local class. Okay, so that local class, since we are actually going and creating a transactional buffer, okay, let me just go and create one method called in my public section. No, because since this has been called internally, I can actually create that method as maybe public. Okay, let us create by public. Let's see if that works. If not, then we will change it. So I will say method that I have to go and create now is prepare transactional buffer. This method I will be going and creating. What it is going to take, it will be taking all the data of contact. So I will say ID contact is the type, and we have already defined a type for it, auxiliary class, and our GTT contact U is the type that we already have. Okay, now it will also take, okay, I have also created something called uh, contact INTX. One structure I have already created. I want to show you that as well, guys. So this one we will be actually using as our control uh, method, okay, as our control structure. And this should be exactly having all the fields that you have in your main table with a boolean value that will be uh, ABAP boolean or XSD boolean type, that will be used by the framework when you define it as a control to a particular in our behavior definition. We'll see that going ahead. So once this one is there, right, if you have created it, then you can utilize it. Framework will fill in the data and it will give it to us. Okay, so that I want to actually go and utilize in my here also, and that will be IT contact maybe X. Okay, and for that also we need to go and define a type for it. So let us go to our main class, And in our main class, we will also define that method. That should be a, uh, what you say, uh, that should be a public method, a public type. So that type I will be putting, let's say, just here GTT contact intx. Okay, that's the uh, name of the structure that I have. Okay, type. Now for that, I also need something else. So let us go and define that also. And what I need here is that I need to actually pass the action code also, guys. Okay. So my idea there is, let me begin a type, begin of, let's say LTY contact intx, end of LTY contact intx. Okay. What this method will be actually going and uh, defining is, okay, our contact ID, which is nothing but gmaks contact m dash contact ID. Okay, we will be passing our key fields first. Along with that key field, we will be actually passing a action code that will be type, create, update, and delete. And then I will be passing the control also. Let me say intx here, type, my thing will be gmaks contact intx. Okay, and my this type will be of lty contact intx. Okay, so what I will be passing to my uh, to my okay, here we should actually always specify a length is what he's saying. So let me go and add one there. Okay, so now what is happening is, for this particular create method, we will be actually creating a buffer by passing the contact ID to be created, action code, whether it is create or update or delete, and then the field names, the control mapping that we have to send. And that we will be using here. G, K, int context X, type, what is that? GTT contact int X. Okay, it should be type table of. So this is what I will be defining here. Okay, GTT contact. Okay, there is a comma here. GTT contact intx. Okay, so these two, uh, these two we will be taking as our input parameter for our uh, prepare data. Then uh, I will also have one delete check there. Okay, generally that IV delete check type above boolean maybe, if okay, and this should be optional. If you want to pass, you pass. Okay, and then we will also have a numbering mode. And you remember the numbering mode, we have already defined the constant, GS constants. GS, what was it? In our GMAKCL aux count U, it was constant. Oh, that constant is not public probably. So let us move this constant to our public section, guys. No, this is in public section only, right? Constant begin of Okay, let me just come here. Okay, and try to activate this first. Okay, those are been now activated. Let me put my charger also. Okay, and now let us try to actually go and create this. Okay, why we are not getting GS constant there? Let me quickly check that. Oh, this should be type C. And I am giving a default value there that should numbering mode should always be, sorry, not value or default, should be GS constant dash. In our case, we will say numbering mode will be late because we are doing the late numbering. So I'm just using so that I don't need to keep on going and doing it every time. Okay. So what I am will be taking is I am taking the contact control, whether we have to check the deleted buffer data, yes or no, and then the numbering mode, and which is a default numbering mode for me. Okay. The late numbering is the default numbering mode. What it will pass back is it will actually pass back the created contact. Okay. The contact that we have created, it will actually pass back. How it will pass back? Again, the same thing. I will take this from here. Now this will be ET of that particular type. And then if there are any errors, I will say, please export the messages also. Okay. And that messages will be GTT. We have created messages. Okay. So I am now creating my prepare transactional buffer method. Okay. Let me go and quickly implement it. And as usual, how you can implement it by pressing Control 1, right? Control F3. Now, what this particular prepare transactional method will do, ideally speaking, it should go and create our transactional buffer, guys. Okay, the whole idea of this method is to create a transactional buffer. So we will now go and write the code to create our transactional buffer. Okay, now what I will be doing is, first let us go and check whether the past IT data, the IT contact, is not initial. If it is initial, then there is no point in going and doing the further operations. So, and let me also clear ET messages. If there are any additional messages, let us clear that out. Okay. And similarly, maybe ET contact as well. It is not harming anything. Now, what I will be doing is, before we actually go and check it, right? We need to first understand that whether they have already provided us with our the control structure, yes or no. Because if that is not been given, right? Or maybe probably what I will do is I will try to just read the data, and depending on the action that we have, right, that I will be actually creating. So for that, I need three buffer table. Okay, three buffer table for myself. First thing that I need is, let me define that LT, say for example, B, buffer for create type, and that type will be, again, we have already defined that type, ZMAKS contact you, GTT contact you. Okay. Now this I need for my create update, and for update I also need the control structure, because in case of update definitely it will be needed. Okay. So and this will be of contact intx. Okay, for now I will just keep it, because the same, my idea is that same buffer, prepare transactional buffer will be called for all our operations, guys. Okay, with different values that is coming in, so that we don't need to keep on creating different uh, methods each and every time. Okay, so for now I'll just keep it. Let's see how it goes. For delete also we might need one, but we will see when we go to the update operation. Okay, or okay, that's fine. Now my idea is that depending on whatever, as you can see, the uh, contact x will actually give me a operation also. And as we have seen here, our contact x is nothing but our control structure will be giving us the key field, the action code, and the control structure. Now I want to check whether the action code is create yes or no. Okay, so what I will go and do is, okay, let me first see whether that value is being given to me yes or no. No? So let me just check that. What I will do is loop at lt con sorry it contact into data ls contact. I don't need to change it, so field symbol is not needed. Okay, and then probably check whether the for that particular contact id is there a control structure given to us or not. Contact x will be equal to value hash lt contact, sorry, it contact x. And what I have to check, I have to check the key fields. Okay, so the key field is contact. Let me get it down. Contact id is equal to ls contact dash contact id. I am checking optional. Okay, and if ls contact x, for example, the value is not been passed, so I don't know which operation it will be doing. So it's better to actually go and return the value back as an error. Is if it is initial, then if it is initial, right? Initial means the data is not found. Then let me fill in the et messages as the value in there is et messages, and on top of it we will be going and adding what we need to add. We need to add message id. Okay, and I have also created a message class for ourselves, guys. Okay, so let me show you that also, so that every time we were so far we were just going and creating the uh, the what you say, the text messages with a constant text. So now I have actually created ZMAKS contact messages with few values there here. Okay, so let me use that also. Okay, so for that I don't want to go and type in every time I want to go. So the better idea is that you go and create some constant for that also. So let me go and create a constant for that quickly. Message id. Okay, that's the constant that I want to show, and this is imsg.msgid, I believe. Yes, and value will be this value. Okay, that is what we need. Also, I need one structure for my operation. Okay, the operation action, maybe end of operation action. This also I need, guys, for create, update, and delete. Okay. And I will say create type C, length value C. Similarly, we will say two more, update and delete. These are the three actions that the user can perform: create, update, and delete. Okay. And I don't want to every time go and check whether it is C, U, or D or not. Okay. Maintain it at one place as a constant and use it wherever you need. So this will be my, uh, again, this class, and it has got GS constants. That constant has got message ID, not numbering mode. Oh, it is not giving me message ID. Why? GS constant dash message ID. Yeah. Okay. And we also have to pass the message number here, MSGNO, and I will be passing message number. Let me quickly check the message number also. I think it should be 1. Okay. Contact unknown. Whatever contact it is there. Okay. Contact is unknown. Sorry. 001 is what I have to pass here. And I also need to pass, since there is an ampersand there, I also need to pass the contact ID there. Okay. Or maybe I will say MSG. First thing, severity also we have to give, right? MSGTY is equal to, again, for severity, we already have, and we have seen it above BEHV message. This class is there, which will have severity in it. And that severity is error is what I have to type, and MSGTY and MSGV1, because there is one thing that is getting passed, LS contact dash, say, contact ID. Okay. That is what I am passing here. Now, once there is an error, let me just make this here and then return back. Okay. No need to proceed further. Okay. If there is an error, there is no point in actually going and creating anything. Now, once that is done, okay, if this is successful, let us see what we have in our contact X and action code. What action we are performing. And I'll say when GMAKSCLAUX contact M GS constant, that operation action dash create. Okay. Similarly, we will also go and write when it is update and when it is delete. Okay. We will be looking this in our upcoming videos. So in this case, what we have to do, we have to just go and append the ls contact to our LTP for create, or not equal to ls2 p for create. Okay, so buffer for create I am just appending. Similarly, if it is this, it should go to U and it should also go to D. So let me just create one more for D also here. But we will not be looking into this soon. LT for delete, for example. I don't know whether we will need it or not, but let's see. Okay, as of now, we can actually just fill in our local value. And the idea is that from this particular prepare transactional method, whatever data is there, we will just go loop in IT contact and prepare our local table, and then using that local table, we will actually go and call another private method to actually fill in the buffer table. That's the whole idea. Okay, so how I will go and do it is, let me just go and create a, a private method. Okay, that will take uh, the data and then put it to the respective buffer, and that will be my private method. So I will say methods, and this is, I'm just saying underscore create to denote that it is private method. What it will go and import is our IT contact as usual. So let me quickly go and get it from here, importing IT contact, and it will also import the numbering mode. Okay, because this is where we will have to go and fill our uh, late numbering method if it is there, right? And then what it will give back is again the same thing. Okay, it should give me back this ET messages or the thing. Okay, now once this is there, let us go and create that as well. Let me go and create method, percent create and method. That's the implementation that we have to go and now create. Let me see the time. Okay, so in this particular underscore create method, what we are going to do is, so we need to do all the numbering and everything here. Okay, so let me just go and create that method now. In this method, first thing that we are going, since we are getting the contact detail, okay, as usual, let us clear ET messages, the contact ET messages, and check if IT contact is initial. Again, no need, because it will always fill in some value. Maybe it is not filling, so let us check that also. Now, here, this is the time where you should go and do your validations as well. I am not going to do any validation here as of now. Okay. Now, uh, then after that, we will say get numbering generated in case of late numbering. Okay. Now, how I am going to do that is, let us again, same thing, loop at IT contact into data ls contact and loop. And what we have to go and check is that if the numbering mode is early or late, okay, it can be early numbering also, it can be late numbering also. So let me just check. I will say if IV, our numbering mode, is equal to again gmaksclaux contact m dot gs constant dot dash numbering mode is equal to late, else do something else. It can be only two. I could have used a case statement here also, guys, but that's fine. So what we should do in case of late numbering, we have to because in case of late numbering, uh, the key fields will not be filled in by our uh, during this whole buffer process. It will be filled in when we are actually trying to go and uh, do the adjust numbering method in our save sequence. But we need to actually go and fill in some of the values there, right? Because so what I am thinking is that, okay, say, let us say, I will say, okay, contact ls contact dash created by is something I will use. Okay, that's a SIU name. And here I will mark it as late so that when it goes to our uh, numbering method, right? Adjust number, I will actually check this and then I will actually go and create our thing. So for that, let me just say, okay, it is just a late numbering. Okay, that is what I am just creating, or late underscore num. Okay, let it be late, no problem. Now we have to actually go, and in case of early numbering, we have to go and create that numbering method, right? If somebody is using our code for early numbering, then we should go and create it. How we are going to create? We will say ls contact dash contact id should be generated, and there is a class already which we already know, system uuid dash create uuid 16x. Okay, that method, whenever uh, you go and do it, you will get a warning, and that warning is to implement this uuid. Okay, again same thing, control 1, and then you can actually say surround with try catch block. Okay, that's fine. So now, in case of early numbering, the numbering will be generated. In case of late numbering, the and of course we need to create it by also, we need to just fill in here. And for that also, we know that there is a, a, a context class that we already have, ABAP context class, right? Context info. This also we have seen. Get technical, get user technical name, right? That is what you have to use. So you are filling in case of late numbering, the created by, and in case of early numbering, the both contact ID and created by. Okay. Now, other than that, we have already seen last change at and change, last change at and by will be there. That also we need to actually go and implement here. Okay. So how we are going to do? We will say get timestamp field, and the field should be ls contact. What is that uh, field name? I will say, okay, created at, okay, and then my uh, created by we have already filled. So the second thing is ls contact dash last changed at and by. So last change at is nothing but same. I can actually created at, I can actually pass it here, and last changed by should be again created by. Okay, so that we also already have something. And now this value, once it is there, right, you just go and uh, add it to our main table. Okay, which is nothing but insert into ls contact into our mtb4 create. Okay, in case of create, I'm just adding and passing it to b4 create. Okay, that is uh, that is what I am actually doing here. So once this everything is been filled in, right, in our loop, final thing is this et contact should also be filled in using mtb for you, mtb mt underscore b for create. Okay, similarly, so what will happen is it will just take, it will create it will fill in the data, and then here I should actually call this create method, isn't it? So that will move the data. Here I will say my LTB4 create is the thing. Numbering is anyway, in my case, it is late, no, not needed. And I am getting my data back in where should I get it? I should actually get it in my ET contact, right? That is what we have to pass back the data, and then ET messages is the uh, thing that we have to go and do. Okay. So far, what we have done, we have actually gone and created our own uh, two values, right? Two methods. One method is a global method that will be called public method, prepare transactional buffer. That will be called, and that will actually use a local create method, okay, a private method that will be then gone and called. So now how this whole thing works is that from from the global class, right? We already have a create contact. Okay, how this will work? So let me go and do from here. We what we are going to do? We are going to actually call our uh, what you say, the auxiliary class, isn't it? We are going to call our auxiliary class method. Let me just show you that also. So what we are going to do, we are going to call how we are going to call. If you come and see in our create method, let me show you that also quickly. Uh, Let me, okay, if I come here and if we go and press F2, okay, you see what it gives us. Create method will give us entities. Using that entity, we will have to do our processing. And in case of error, failed and reported will be filled in. You can watch my manage scenario video where I have explained all these things, all these tables in great detail. But in case of error, failed and reported should be done. In case of successful, the data should be filled in into map table and sent back to our front end. Okay. So that is how this whole thing works. Okay. Now, how are we going to actually go and do that is we will just loop at our entities. Okay. Fill in our data. So let me just quickly show you that what we are going to do. First of all, loop at our entities. We have entities there into data ls entities. Okay. And using that, we will be calling our create method from our main class. Okay. So, and that will be nothing but calling our gmaks claux. Okay. Why it is not giving me gmaks claux contact you. Is it not saved? Activated. Let me see it quickly. So what we will be calling, we should be calling here our gmaks cl ops u. It will have a get instance method. Why it is not showing me? Gmaks, the statement is invalid. Let me quickly check what is happening there. We do not have the method here. So let me quickly just go and copy this also. So we need the global class method as well. This is a different class. So here, before we actually go and create, we should have this method also, and this method will return me back gmaksclaux contact you class. And again, in the private section, we need same thing, go instance. Let me quickly copy that also in our aux here, private method, and then this will again be gmaks claux contact you, and the get instant method should be triggered first. Method get instance. Again, it's the same code. Get the instance there. Let me quickly copy that and paste it here. Okay, so let me activate this. Come back to our contact. Control F3 says activating it. This is activated. Now let me come back here, and then I will should be getting get instance, and using that get instance method we should call our create contact. Okay, as soon as I have seen the create contact, you see it is now taking our uh, is contact. Okay, and numbering mode is fine, and then it should give me es contact back. That is what it is actually doing. So for that I need some variables that should be actually gone and done. So for that, let me just go and create a few variable ls contact in, and this should be of type gmaksclaux contact you gty contact you. Okay, similarly I will have also one for out, so that we can pass here is ls contact in, and we will be getting back our data in ls contact out. And we already have et messages here. Probably we don't have vc messages, so that means we need one lt messages also here. Type gtt messages, that is what we have defined. Yeah, and this ett message sorry, lt message, we should actually pass it here. Okay, now before we actually use this ls contact in needs to be filled in, right? And how we should go and fill in is ls contact in should be equal to value. Again, what from where we are actually getting it from, ls entities, so not value in this case, maybe corresponding of these values, sorry, corresponding of ls entities is what we have to fill in. And this corresponding ls entities, we know that okay, the type is different, right? So there is one concept called mapping from entity is what you can actually go and fill in. You can actually use using control also, so that your control data is also filled in. Okay, now as soon as you do this, you see here it says no mapping defined. Okay, no mapping defined, guys. So first thing that we need to go and do it is go to our behavior definition in the contact, and we will have to define as usual the mapping here, as you have seen in our um, read only as well. Okay, let me quickly do that and get back. Okay, I have filled in our mapping here. Let me activate this. As usual, the same thing. The only thing is now I am using the control also here, and using the control, our control structure that I have shown you, which will be having all this thing with abap boolean there. Okay, this you if it is not existing, you have to create your own. Okay, so that you can use this control functionality. Once this is done, okay, so it should come here and the maks contact m. Okay, this is fine. Okay, let me activate this, and this is also activated. Okay, what will happen is this will either succeed or fail, right? Now, for our scenario, it will be only one entry that will be created at a time, right, guys? Only one entries will be created at a time. So what we should do is once that uh, whole thing is actually done, then our idea is that we should go and check if there is any errors, yes or no. Okay, and that if there is any error or uh, uh, any error message that comes out of it, then we need to go and fill in mapped and failed structure, failed and reported structure. In case of normal, there is no error, then mapped should be filled in. Now, these kind of things is actually going to be uh, used in all the scenarios, right? Update also, delete also, everywhere. So my idea is that I will actually go and create uh, one more method that I can reuse it again and again. But that I will actually do it in our next session, and we will continue from there. So for now, I will stop here, guys, because the video is getting longer. We will continue in this same. This is going to be a very long, and that is what I was telling you, that it is not complex. It is just a lengthy process. Once you know the concept well, then it is very easy. But since you have to code everything and we have to start doing the things, it is taking time. Please bear with me, but hope this will actually help you guys in understanding the code properly, how you have to do it. Okay. With that, I would like to stop here. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and happy learning.